And good evening, Ken.
Good evening, Tom. How are you tonight?
I am good. I'm good. It's Friday.
It is, and we survived the snow Armageddon that we were promised.
Yes, my poor snow throwers had enough.
I
Had
agree.
enough. And I see some people have dug out of the snow to come visit us today. We'll welcome them here to our final show of this season. And if you're in chat, please say hi.
Hi.
Ken's in chat, Tom's in chat, and we have Heath here from Humanity Junction. Welcome, Heath. Wiggy Waggy Junction. Steven is in the house. Tim D has joined us. Andy Dorch, the part of the Second Section podcast. What's on your bench? That's always a special show. Chicago, Denver, and Northern has joined us, Ken. Dan Linforce, our narrow gauge specialist in the TCD. And Around the Layout podcast, Ray is here, the smoothest voiced in podcasting. Did you know that, Ken?
He is Mr. Suave.
He is Mr. Suave. He gave us a great tip today on what microphone to buy. I'm going to get it. Hopefully it'll make me sound like someone almost as good as Ray. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Oh, so it's got a Ray setting on it?
I think so. That's what he said. He said you could be smooth and suave like Ray. Jimmy Land is here. Welcome. Fire Guy, Tom Tennyson, Mr. Great Northern has joined us. Colin Sullivan has joined us. Welcome. Diesel Dude, Kennedy Gager, a guy whose name is almost like mine. Not quite. So he is our celebration room expert. And we'll have maybe some questions for him tonight to talk about the convention. The Closet Branch has joined us. I see Roger Coleman. I see Chris Robin, Randy Relander. And I see Jeff Sane has also joined us. Anybody else, please chime in. We'll welcome you. Thank you for joining the Twin Cities Division. Ken Zeska, our superintendent, and myself, the grand poobah of all social media.
That's right.
We are going to be talking about little everything. Ken, you want to pick some off the head? Should we go to convention or swag store? What would you like?
As long as Kennedy's here, I'm gonna let me see if I can show something really, really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Nope.
We need a band like the Second Section.
We do.
We knew.
All right. You see this marvelous image? Kennedy has put out a special challenge for the Thousand Lakes Region Convention, and that is a billboard contest. And so at the modelers meet, we are going to, Neil Maldas is going to put together a make and take where we can start putting together billboards. And of course, you put your own image on here. There'll be a special spot in the celebration room for this. And we're really excited to see what people come up with. You know, I would say use your better judgment and good taste. But I know both comments are wasted on this crowd.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just thought I would show you that as a great upcoming event. You can start out at Modelers Meet. Now, if you're like in New York City and you can't come to the Modelers Meet, you can do your own billboard and bring it to the Thousand Lakes Region Convention. If you can't make it to the Thousand Lakes Region Convention because you live in New York City, you can always send your billboard to us and we will display it in the celebration room. So it'll be exciting, guys. Looking forward to seeing everybody there.
Do you get extra points if your billboard mentions the Twin Cities Division?
You get extra points if it mentions the podcast.
If you mentioned the Crossing Gate podcast.
The Crossing Gate podcast.
Ensign Morgan and the Gruesome Casket Company.
Exactly right. Yeah, and of course, if you do something to honor Kennedy, I'm sure he'll give you better points for that also.
Yes, there's always the suck up points. That I think.
Suck up to the boss.
That's right. And you got something else to share there, or should we get to?
Go ahead. Let's go on. I've got other stuff, but it's in the conversation.
All right. So let's talk about our fun little swag store here. And we'll pop up the address. So the TCD has some marvelous things, and you get to choose. You choose the color, the size, all kinds of things. You got hoodies, kind of baseball type hoodies, kind of what I'm wearing here. Of course, mine says some mining company. I don't know. Get a baseball shirt for the annual podcast softball charity game. I think since we have like 7 of us and there's only 2 on the second section and 1 on Ray's show, we're going to win because
We are.
they're going to have to combine teams. So you can get a Ken Zeska straight out of the 60s, 70s hippie design here. And those are really colorful shirts. And you can get something for the ladies too. There, things like that. And some baseball caps for, once again, the charity softball. And you can get your operations apron. It prevents the 52 card pickup from happening with your car cards. Now I saw Heath was asking for the address. There is our address. Let me see if I can remove the little thing there here. There we go. So TCD Media Store, myspreadshop.com. Pick up something nice for the pooches there. And we'll post this in the comments a couple of times. And you can order some swag. And it helps us out. All the profits go to our division to put on great shows like the Operators Retreat, put on the podcast, put on the Modelers Retreat, put on the convention. And all the money that we use to make these videos in the fall and stuff like that. Hey, Heath already did it. That a boy, Heath. That's why we pay Heath the big bucks.
We do? Well, he deserves it, I guess. So.
I think so now, yeah. And let's see what else we got here. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Randy.
The podcast came out today. So you can download episode 47. It's all about grain elevators. Some wonderful chat with William Sampson, who actually worked in one, Joe Binish, Mike Jordan, Dave Hamilton, Ken and I. And, of course, since it's modeling grain elevators, I'm the only one who knows nothing about it. Right, Ken? What am I? I'm the 1%er? Is that what you guys called me or something?
We did, and you wondered where the red grain was.
It's just wrong, Ray. It's just wrong. I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, we were looking for the red and gray elevator. We put some links on the podcast room, some wonderful videos.
Yep.
But you can now download our podcast. Hopefully, we'll be as popular as the second section someday.
Yeah.
And I think we got convention stuff. Let's see what I got here for conventions.
We do, but just before we talk about convention,
Okay.
Andy posted a link to a video on the Green Bay and Western Railroad, which was historical video, which was real nice. And at the end of it, it had 2 pictures of Mike Ostertag, and now I understand why he has such a beautiful wife, because back in the day, he was actually a good-looking guy. So that explains that.
Yeah. Before the railroad beat him, she probably liked him before the railroad, because I know what the railroad does to somebody.
Yeah, well, you can see it.
I was a good-looking guy at one time, and then,
Yep. Yeah, you're right. You can tell he's been ridden hard and put away wet.
Yeah. Too many real things there. So speaking of the convention coming up, if you're not an NMRA member and you want a great deal, you can tell them about the Rail Pass here, Ken.
Yes, sir, and that's it. 9 months for $19.95, and plus you save $10 on the convention registration, so it's $9.95. The first time you go to the one of the NMRA partners, you're going to save that money and more. So it's a fantastic deal, and really, it's the NMRA is all about community. The Thousand Lakes region's about community, and the division's about community. And we would love to have you to be a part of our community, because the more people we have in, the more things we can do. And just give you kind of an example and kind of a segue into the convention. We've got a lot of people that are standing up to be chairs of little parts of the event, and we really appreciate that. There's some places where we're looking somebody to take over the display room. We have Kennedy Gazer and his group have got the celebration room taken care of, but we're still going to provide them with some shadow judges and some volunteers. Next to that is going to be the display room, and we just would like to have some help organizing that. It gets a lot easier for everybody if we get a lot of people that are busy helping out. So, and as Randy says, the NMRA, so much bang for so few bucks. So come join the NMRA, guys. Be part of the cool kids.
Yep. That's quite the deal that they've there.
Yes, it is. You know, and to just mention, one of the things we started doing in the division is every month when we get the list of new members, we send out an email to them, welcoming them to the NMRA and the region and the division, and then inviting them to get in touch with us. And I've been keeping these lists, and we're going to go back after a few months and contact them and say, you know, are you having your fun? Are you getting your money's worth out, or can we help you with that? And so that's what we want to do, is make sure that we get everybody involved, find out what you're looking for and how we can do it. And it's a great social club. It really is. And, you know, somebody asked about the GB&W video, and I'm sure, Andy, if you're out there, you can put that out. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll make Mr. Dorch a moderator, and that way he can put Heath in a timeout. But yeah, the NMRA is very good socially. If you join and you don't, it's not what you think it is, you know, let us know, and let us know why, you know.
Yep. And you're to the good point. We can't be everything to everybody, but it's good to remember that all of you guys that don't want to join the NMRA because your uncle 40 years ago got dissed by some old guy, or you heard that everybody in there is bigoted, neo-Nazi, commie, pinko fags. Those guys have all left.
Yeah.
You know, the grumpy people have left.
Or this way, we threw them out.
We threw them out. They're gone, and so it's only the fun people. And no, okay, the NMRA was only for 65 plus members only. Okay, Heath, you're picking on me. That's elder abuse. Knock it off. So yes, there are young people also. So, at any rate, the TLR convention and registration forms are out in the Fusey. You should be getting those in the mail soon, and we will also put them up on the TCD events page. And if you contact us at info@tcdnmra.com, you'll get one also. So it's easy to register. We'll help you out.
All right. Should we mention? Let's go through. We'll get the modelers retreat first.
Yep.
So
modelers retreat, and if you're on the TCD Facebook page, you'll notice that Joe's been putting out about 2 or 3 a week, specific publicity for the modelers meet clinicians, presenters. And, you know, I just happened to think of that as I was saying that. This caused me. I don't know that he's also putting it out on the other, like the TLR Facebook page, but I'll make sure they all get there, because we want everybody to know the great quality of presenters that we have coming. And it's really going to be a great time. Friday night is social setup. We'll probably show some slides, and lots of conversation, lots of stories. Keep in mind that the modelers meet is called non-attribution distribution site. So anything you say there, all the stories you tell us, will not be subject to fact checking. So it's okay. Saturday morning, we start early. We'll have clinics. We'll have displays. And really, you saw some of the displays earlier in the bumper music we play on the front. That's the fun. You get to see people are doing things that, and not just finished products, but what they're in process. Joe Binish was telling me that Bob Rivard has got a super new project, and he was showing it to him, and he said, "Look at this! Look at all this detail! Look at everything I've done. It's ready for paint next week." And Joe said, "Don't paint it. Bring it to the modelers retreat meet just like that." And so, we threatened to take away his airbrush if we had to. Is the retreat open to the public? Everybody that registers is welcome to come in.
It is just not an NMRA exclusive event.
Right. But do you mean people can walk in off the street like moms with their babies in strollers? Not so much. Yeah, it's not really that sort of event. It's a modelers meet. So
there is an admission fee. Yeah, there is.
There is. Yep. So I hope, Colin, if that doesn't answer your question, please reach out and let me know.
And Ken designed the name Modelers Retreat.
Yep.
So it's not just an RPM meet. You can bring freelance things. We appreciate freelance. We just appreciate any modeling of trade. Right. And we have everything but a logo. Okay. So we're going to have a logo contest, and it is open to anyone. And design a logo, and you don't have to have it done by the retreat, but our last meeting is in May, and we'd like to bring it to the board or the people who run the retreat. And it can be even a rough drawing, because we have some wonderful people who can touch it up and make you look good. And so if you got an idea for this, let us know. Something simple.
Exactly.
Do we allow N scalers there? I think we have featuring N scalers this year. Ken Borowski, Randy
Absolutely.
Rulander,
yep.
And a number of others.
Yeah, Colin Sullivan brings in that N scale massive depot, or that's station. Not depot. Train station. I mean, it looks like
station.
A Union Station. It's gorgeous.
In our opening slides, that depot, the Northern Pacific motive power you see in our opening is all N scale.
Yep.
And there's a lot of wonderful N scalers we're just discovering here in the Twin Cities. So, and there's a couple of, I know, 2 N scale Duluth, Mesabi, and Iron Range layouts that we're going to visit. We've never seen them, but they operate and they're beautiful. We've seen photos. And
so as Colin said, it's a Union Station. Yeah, and that we'll put that up there on the Facebook page again, just so everybody can see it.
Yeah, we'll put that back up there because it's just beautiful, and he's even done more work on it throughout this year.
Absolutely.
And I think Heath would like to see that because it's all passenger. It's above ground passenger station. And you can, all the Streamliners and all the Amtraks and Northeast Corridor trains can pull right in there. So, but yeah, we'd like to have a little logo contest here. And then after that, we got our operators retreat, right, Ken?
We do. And that's going to be, we've already gotten a few people express interest in it. And we understand that we haven't it's not filled up yet because there's so much going on that people can't get signed up for everything all the time. But 4 great layouts. We're looking for at least 21 operators. We really are inviting people that are novices at operation, or people that are in the area that would love to operate but just don't know a lot of people. So last year, the folks that were in the operating session, and express interest in coming back again. And of course, they also pass the test of people wanting to invite them back again. We've already been giving out their names to other layout owners, saying, "Hey, here's good guys," because there are people that have a hard time filling up when they need 10 or 12 slots, and there's people that operate at oddball times. Sometimes they operate when there's other people operating. There's a lot of people out there that like to operate, and we want to make sure we connect them with people that are like-minded and looking to invite them over and have a good time with them. So
yeah. We have more layouts
yes,
than we have operators.
Yep.
So don't miss out by thinking, oh, it's going to fill up, they're going to choose these guys first. If we get more, we've got layout owners that want to host because they want to get new operators, so they have a bigger group to call from when they need 5 or 6 guys, and life's busy, as you know, and they can't get enough. So they like an extra board.
Yep.
And operating sessions are a great way to network, right, Ken?
They are.
That you go to one, and then if you're a very good person socially, you'll get invited to many, many more.
Yes.
So
even if you're an S scaler, people will invite you back. I bring a magnifying glass.
Okay.
I'm not used to looking at stuff that small.
It's 164 scale, yes.
Yes.
Yep. Well, we have the layouts. It's a neat idea. It went over well last fall. We thought we'd try it in the spring. And as long as people enjoy it and want to keep coming over and run layouts like the Split Rock and Minnesota Commercial, Missouri Northern, Central of Minnesota,
Clinchfield,
Clinchfield, Burlington, Santa Maria. We've got probably 30 operating layouts in the Twin Cities. So that's something we can do there. And so I think maybe we can go to the program. What you have going on there, Ken, or did you want to?
No, that's good. I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I know how to do this, Ken. Window. Shoot. Where did it go? Okay. I don't suppose that came up.
Nothing yet.
There we go. Now it did. Now it will.
Hey.
Okay. Ta-da. So, over the months, we've been talking about big inflection points on your model railroading. And so my question is 2 parts. One is, what does it take for you to decide that it's time to do a massive destruction and overhaul of your layout? And then as we get a little farther in, I'm open to some suggestions. So a scenic part of my layout for a lot of years has been this Rum and Soda River Valley. No, sorry.
Something going to explode? Okay.
Yeah, it's been this Rum and Soda River Valley, and it's a great scene, a lot of cut rocks, and it replicated the where the Northern Pacific came out of the Duluth and went up through the Dells into Carleton. The challenge is it's a big, impressive scene, and although it's very inspiring to some people, after probably 25 years, it became oppressive. And so I decided it needed a little bit of a facelift. So I decided to trim out the corner, and I thought, I'll just bring my prairie scene a little farther out. And sometimes when you get started on a little project, it gets a little bigger, and next thing I know, I've taken that little piece by my right elbow out, and I found myself a Ginshu saw, and I said, yep, I'm going to take just a little bit more off. Well, about 12 feet later, I said, this is actually working out pretty well. I filled up the trash can twice while I'm in the process of filling up the second time. Let me just take a touch more out, and I did. all the way to the corner. Now, the challenge was I was having a hard time figuring out how to connect with that piece of wrapped around towards me. So there it went. So folks, this is 100 and some pounds of hydrocal and a couple of trash cans full, and now I'm scrubbing the walls. What does it take you to decide to what does it take you to decide to do crazy things like this? So I'm gonna, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, yeah, so that's what it looks like now. I don't know where my mouse went. I wanted to hide this. Stop sharing. Oh well, we'll just keep going until it's done then. So this is what I'm starting to put back in, and as you can see, I'm building. It's going to be more sloped, and it'll go back probably almost the same distance. I'm going to have a problem wrapping it into that corner. That's true. I understand that, but I'll figure that out later. And this is what the new view is around the bluff there. And what one of the things I really like about this is it's going to give me a lot better look at the trains coming up the grade, so which is what I'm looking for. And then this is the scene that it's going to tie into. Again, one of the things I like is that the room seems bigger down there and it seems brighter. So,
it does look bigger.
It does. It really does. So I guess what I'm looking at, yeah, and I'm not going to put a helix in. So what I'm looking for is, folks, what does it take you to decide that it's time to deconstruct something, a big scene that's been memorable for a lot of people, but it's been up 35 years. And how do you explain that to your wife when she comes down and says, "What have you been doing?" So
what is this mess you keep hauling out every night?
Yeah,
Right.
and I only, but yeah, that's a good point. I do only haul the mess out at night after she's gone to bed. So
yeah, that's when she's out of town or something.
That's right, when she's not looking. So,
but yeah, what do you guys do? Has anybody else done major changes? Have looked at their layout so long and like it's just not right, and you get out the Sawzall or scraper or something else and say, I want to change this. You know, I want to make this better. You know. Oh, go ahead. Which one did, go ahead, put it up there. I'll let you. Oh, you put up the comments. There we go.
So
that's it.
Yeah, and that's really a good point, and it really was a tough point. A lot of the guys that come over once or twice a year, or even 3 or 4 times a year, love that scene, and it's true. It was a beautiful scene, but my layout has evolved away from that Duluth look and the Dells to wanting the prairie look.
Right.
So that's what I came with. I had just gotten tired of it. You're right. It's only plaster, foam, and cardboard. Boy, once I started doing it, I got going. It was okay. It was tough to get started, and then when I got done, I went, "Oh, what the hell have I done?" So, yeah, and right, it's an operating layout, and it's never done. Yeah. So good, and I appreciate that. Yeah, and the spouse thing, I have a very understanding spouse. She likes it because she always knows where I'm going to be.
I think that's why our spouses like us, because they just have to holler down the stairs in the Midwest here.
That's right. And Ken, yeah, if you keep thinking about it and you don't like it, then it's time to do it. So, and so Ralph, have I thought of profile boards instead of stacking foam? What does that mean? Does that mean like cutting cardboard and then putting stuff over it? Is that what you're thinking?
I don't know, profile. Oh, profile. Yeah, I think that's it. The profile boards with the cardboard staples and the red paper.
Yeah, I'd thought about that, and I'd actually picked up some cardboard, and then I said, I'm gonna stack foam because the nice part about Minnesota winters is the basement gets cold, So I thought I'm adding insulation to the basement, and that will make it better. So what do you think about that, Ralph? Is that a good rationale?
Yeah.
So, and Kennedy, I purposely not put sidings or passing tracks on that, and it's so close to the wall that it'd be tough to do that. That's about a 30 or 40-foot long stretch where it's just trains running through scenery, and so it's also a long way away from the front of the layout. So I'm going to just not do that. So yeah. So Ken started out modeling the north end of the clinch field, and then he changed to the south end. Well, I started modeling the Duluth area, and then I started modeling an iron ore railroad, and then I went to a Granger railroad. So I understand that.
Yeah.
And Andy, of course, he's
Yeah.
trashed a few layouts.
That's the expert to ask right there.
That's right. My only question is why he didn't, when he trashed the last one, why he didn't go ahead and go right to S scale.
He might, I don't know. But Andy hasn't done that. I think he's only done that to 32 layouts so far. So
yeah, that's right.
He'll get there.
Yep. And Tom, you have a layout that's named after somebody too, right?
Yeah, portions of my layout too. You get that emotional attachment. So I understand what Ray's saying here is that that tunnel's got to go. And I'm like, well, that's part of that person. And then maybe you can honor them in some other way. But yeah, it's sometimes when you want to make changes and you've done that named after good friends or someone who's helped with the layout or family, you're kind of like, so.
Oh, Ralph, what a good idea. I've got 14 more feet to go. I'll give that a try.
Yeah.
So
my suggestion to you, Ken, is when we come over for the next work session is use that pink foam as the base, but I would suggest the top layer is florist foam.
Yep. And that's why the top layer that you see there is just set in place.
Very good. Okay.
Because I like that.
That's mine is almost like a wedding. I call it the wedding cake. And all the new areas, which I really, really like, are florist foam. And what's genius about that is you'll probably have a clinic on it. You can build it at your workbench. Practically almost everything at the workbench, put it in place, and then blend it in.
Okay.
And that's, the scenes you see behind me and a bunch of the magazines were built on my workbench. Where I could get at it, get at this, get all the grass. I didn't have to reach over my layout, glue my tracks full of static grass, bushes, super trees. I can see it, move it around from all angles and then push it into place and blend it in.
That's a great idea and something we could possibly consider for a video for our TCD NMRA page. Dwight, we have an answer for that one up here in the Twin Sea division and on the Crossing Gate podcast. And Tom, when your wife says, how much does it cost? What do we tell her?
Less than a bass boat.
Thank you. There you go. So yeah. So Dan, of course, Dan posted a picture of himself. He's hand laid about enough little basswood ties to destroy a forest. Now he's going to hand lay a bunch of track. My question is, why would anybody do that? Man, that's hard work. So I don't know about that.
He gets nice rolling track, and I don't think Atlas makes stub switches yet.
I don't think so. Ray's trying to poke me here a little bit. Do they make S-scale floors for him?
Man, Ray's just bringing the troll tonight, man.
He is. His interview canceled, and he's taking it out on us.
I think so.
Yeah.
See if we'll ever show up on his podcast in the.
That's right.
The hostage exchange program of podcasters interviewing other podcasters. So.
Yeah. Well, just when we have the softball game, he better not be playing second base, or I'm going to come in spikes up when I steal the base.
Yeah, coming in spikes up.
Yeah, I'm going to try this. So, Tom, I'll have you guys over and kind of figure out how to do that. So I'll just get close and then. So that even works when you're going down hills and stuff like that. You just blend it in.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Because like what you did with the pink foam, if you don't want a big chunk of, florist foam, which is kind of expensive, you can layer it.
Yep.
And just real thin, but layer the front and then put it on the pink foam and then carve it with a rasp.
Okay.
And then I used to use like sheetrock spackle over it.
Okay.
To smooth it. I don't even bother. I might use that if I was putting in rock molds.
Mm-hmm.
But now I don't even bother. I just cover it with glue and static grass. You can't see it. Then add your bushes and your super trees or whatever you want. So
come back. So you've carved the florist foam.
Yep.
And then do you sand it smooth?
Well, I carve it roughly with a knife, and then I sand it with a rasp. I have a little handheld rasp, like it's got a handle and a square. Makes a heck of a mess.
Sure.
And I could probably grab one. I got pieces of my layout over here that still. And then on the workbench, once I have that, I'll cover it with carpenter's glue and bring out my static grass applicator. Different colors, different depths.
Okay.
Let that dry for a day or so. Then I'll stick in my version of bushes, which are the scraps from super trees.
Yep.
Hot glued to a cut off Woodland Scenics T-pin, painted, and then like I use hairspray, the world's cheapest hairspray from the dollar store as adhesive.
Yep.
And I sprinkle on knock leaves of many different colors. And then those just stick right in there. Yeah.
See, now I have to admit, most of that portion of the layout was done 25 years ago. And so one of the fun things about this is that I'm able to now take advantage of all of these new techniques that people have. I started doing some static grass in the front, and I guess that's again another part of the reason to tear out the back is it just wasn't done very well. So you said you use Gorilla urethane glue to. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's a good tip, Tony. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you say you do your static grass into Gorilla glue?
I don't.
Or no, I'm sorry, into carpenter's glue?
Yeah, just white glue. I bought a gallon jug of carpenter's glue. It's kind of yellowish. Then I get those old 10-cent brushes and smear it around.
Yep.
And then I use my static grass applicator. The military guys taught me where my favorite static grass applicator is the one that looks like a teacup or like a strainer that someone hooked a fly swatter up to. I have one of those. And the old days you used to take the metal part and stick it in your scenery, right? And that was the ground.
Yeah.
Well, the military guys, like if this was, they now hold that just on the ground and they move it around like this. So you can cover up like 3 square feet because the charging is always underneath. If this was your static grass applicator, you just follow it around.
Yep.
Where you're dropping the static grass, and you don't have to pull out the needle full of glue.
Well, see, I thought the needle, I thought the needle gave your static grass more power. Your applicator, static grass applicator, more power.
So they have some. I kept buying ones that were more powerful, but they weren't doing me any good. They're kind of tough on like the ones that are tall like this. They have the big needle. They don't work well on a multi-level layout. You can't get it into the lower level. So let's grab a piece here.
So again, going back to the question about carpenter's glue, I recall seeing a clinic from Scenery Unlimited or Scenic Express, I guess it was, and he was talking about the fact that you've got to make sure that whatever adhesive you use, you put the static grass on it before it skins over.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
So do you water your glue down?
No, I don't spread it over, a bunch of square feet. But so here's a piece, the florist foam.
Yep.
And then I carved it with a rasp, and then you can see there's static grass on there.
Okay.
And what's cool is like I'll cover this up with bushes, but like the trees I have, I put a little pin on there, and then wherever you just stick them in, and
So that actually sounds like another great thing to do at our Modelers Nook at
Right.
the Thousand Lakes Region Convention.
Right.
Did I mention we're having a convention, by the way?
Convention. So like this is a scrap off super trees, a branch that fell off or broke. So I'll hot glue. Let me make my stream bigger here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I'll hot glue that Woodland Scenics pin on the bottom.
Ooh.
I'll paint it and then spray it with dollar store hairspray.
I use Suave.
Suave? Yeah, that's about $1.
Well, and it comes in a pump.
And then you can just stick it in there. And I make like 200 of those at a time. I just get an assembly line. And that's why my forest looks so dense. That's why I look so dense too, but that's usually. But yeah, this stuff as a top layer is awesome because I just carve it with a rasp. And I can build it, right in front of me.
Wow. What sizes does the florist foam come in?
Every size imaginable.
Okay.
And I buy mine at Michael's, and Michael's always has at least a 20, if not a 40% coupon off one item.
Right.
So I'd always go by like one piece a week.
A 4x8 sheet?
Yeah. If they had them, I probably would have bought it. But sometimes you want thin pieces and sometimes you want little ones. But I'll buy bigger pieces if they have them and carve them up.
Cool. That's a great idea. I appreciate that.
Great base for me. It works for me.
Right. But circling back to the convention, which I know I always do, but that's because I got a narrow focus. These are the kind of things that we want to do at the convention. And we talk about the modelers meet, and it's one day and it's a relatively small space, and people bring in models that they're working on, and we're learning. But the convention allows us to do that and more. In the celebration room, you get to see what people have been working on, and that's a lot of fun. It's always fun to help congratulate people on the work they're doing. And it's not just models, it's photography, it's railroad passes. We have arts and crafts for people that want to do things like that. So there's lots of things going on there. But this year we're adding what we call the Modelers Nook, and it's the breakfast nook at the hotel, and it's got all these Formica tops on it, so we can go in there and set up almost spontaneous clinics where you can bring a couple boxcars and we'll help you weather them. We'll have some florist foam, and you can see how we do this. And the whole idea is you go away after 3.5 days, very tired, meeting new friends, talking to old friends, seeing great layouts, seeing great models, learning some new skills, and counting down the days until you go in 2024 to Duluth for the 2024 Thousand Lakes Region Convention. So that's kind of what we're looking at, gang, and what we're really trying to do in the division is build that community. So Tom, I'm going to get some floral foam, and I'm going to practice up on that. Again, maybe that's the kind of thing where we can do little short videos for the media channel.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
but I like what you said. I like what everybody said about changing their layout for the different reasons. You know, Ken and Dan wanted to go prototype. Other people felt it wasn't right, this and that. And then back to your convention, you talked about the celebration room. Kennedy's here. The NMRA changed the contest room to the celebration room. So what they mean by celebration is it's like a modeler's retreat. You can bring in stuff you've worked on, half finished, whatever, and show it off. You do not have to have it judged for merit. You can if you want, but otherwise, if you just want to show what you're working on, it's a wonderful place. Also, there's contests for photography, prototype and model in full color and in black and white. You know, a lot of entries in that. You know, we have some wonderful rail fans in here that take some, you know, they post them all the time on Facebook.
Yep.
So.
Yep. That's what's so much fun is there's such a wide variety of things in the convention. We have a guy, Gary Nelson, who spent years on the Great Northern and then the Burlington Northern. And he's going to give a clinic about his 35 years on the railroad, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So you just, there's a lot of great things you can do on YouTube, and there's a lot of great things you can do on a program like this, but there's nothing like getting together, getting glue on your hands, and staying up too late talking, telling train stories. And again, like the modelers meet, stories you tell at the convention stay at the convention. So we will never fact check your claim that you once ran the 4444 on the Scally line up to Duluth.
Yes, as far as we know, that's the truth.
It is.
And he brings up a couple of good points here. One, the joke about the foam. And he also talks about like learning timetable and train order operations. Well, this is exactly what a convention is for. Is, geez, I really wish I could learn that. Well, somewhere along there's a clinic. And if there's not a clinic, like I said, we're hosting operations sessions. We'll find you a layout with timetable and train orders. There's many around the Twin Cities. And you can get in there and learn how to do that basic hand-to-hand combat. So maybe if you want to know, I can talk to you tomorrow night about that. I'll explain to that. The best thing I can say is stay in the yard. But it's a lot of fun when done right.
Yep.
Yeah, lost art. John Whitlow. It is a lost art. It's tough to do in model form because to me, not the procedures, but just tough to get everyone operating on the same page with it. So,
and that is true. I was at a prairie rail, one of my first prairie rails, and I got put in a very large timetable and train order layout. And after about, probably half an hour, one of the local regulars came over and spent the rest of the evening standing next to me, helping me. I think he recognized that if he let me go on my own, I was going to mess up the whole night for everybody.
Yeah, new guy, don't be dispatcher.
That's right.
I love the idea of the modeler's nook because it's hands-on. And if you see me in the modeler's nook doing something and somebody comes up and goes, "What are you doing?" I'm getting up and putting them in my chair and they're going to start doing it.
Right. That's great.
Making a tree, making a mess, doing some weathering, doing some, things like that. Because that's how I am. I'm the guy that has to learn by sitting next to someone and doing it. I think that's why YouTube, but I like mentors. I think that's the greatest thing the NMRA can offer anyone is a mentor for how do I do this? And it's anything from weathering to painting to finding someone like Heath. How do you set up a live stream? What's cameras? Find someone like Ray. What's a good microphone? Where do you put your podcast? Andy and Mike, how do you guys put out a video cast on other podcast? We'll find you somebody. The networking is worth the price of admission. Absolutely.
Yeah, Ken asked an interesting question. Are there any prototype tours during the convention? And right now there aren't any. And what we found the last few years is two things. One is there's not many prototypes anymore, and two is the railroads are very restrictive about where they want you to go. So we're really concerned about that. But Ken, uh, we're open to it. And so if you have got a great idea, we would love to hear it. And better yet, if you've got a contact to work that great idea in, we would like to hear that also.
Yeah, the things with the prototype have to be set up almost a year in advance. Some smooth talking, some explaining what we're doing. I believe the next convention I've been talking to some industries that serve the railroad. None of the big railroads around here would have let us on. I know that for sure because of lawyers. But there are some 4 or 5 industries around the Twin Cities that are rail served, and lots of them are modelable. I mean, very modelable, like one-car industries still in existence, and they'd be glad to give a tour.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Hey, so here's another point from Kennedy that I know we didn't say well enough. The NMRA Achievement Program and the contests are all part of the education, and it goes to the same thing that we're doing. Kennedy also brings this up about the Modelers Nook and Celebration Room and the Modelers Retreat. That's really what we're trying to do more than anything else in the division is to help educate. And if you think you've had enough formal education in your life, that's okay. This is informal, friendly education, the kind that you want to take. We're not going to teach you algebra or statistics. Come and join us and bring your projects. Last year at the Modelers Retreat, we had a couple guys bring layout plans and laid them out in front of us and said, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm trying to do. What do you think? And a lot of times having that one-on-one conversation with experienced people, they'll say, well, geez, did you notice this? Is this what you really wanted to do? Or, oh boy, that's a great idea. How about where are you going to put gruesome casket? And you don't have room for a waterfall. How are you gonna model this?
Yeah, like you said, even resources from track planning to scenery planning. I think the networking and the teaching is that's amazing. Just the contacts you can and the history buffs. There's always somebody who knows more about the Minneapolis Northfield and Southern than you do. And they'll let you know it too. So.
Jimmy, this is a great point. And for many of us, this was something that was hard for us to learn. And I grew up in the 50s, and education was pretty much one way. And when you're a guy that learns more from engaging the brain and visual learning, sometimes that was tough because you were expected to just sit there and be quiet and somehow absorb all that stuff. There's a cement plant down 86th Street. There you go.
There you go.
So there's a lot of stuff to do.
There's a lot of rail fanning in the Twin Cities, and I'm sure some of our locals will offer that. So if you're at the convention some afternoon, we'll be glad to give you GPS, or a bunch of guys will go with you to find out and watch University or Hoffman, and you can see up to 20 trains an hour going by.
Yep. And to that point, if we've got a couple guys coming in from all the way from Australia just to come to the TLR convention, and they're going to spend time rail fanning before and after. So there are people that'll certainly help you. There's going to be concentrated layout tours during the convention, but again, like Graham's finding out, there are people before and after the convention that are happy to open up their railroads for us. and the dates and times and locations of all the different meets and retreats around the country. There is a
I don't know about around the
prototype.
country. I think he means ours.
Oh, okay. Well, we post them,
Yeah.
and
So
and they're on the.
there's the convention one.
Yep. And Dwight, you'd asked earlier about a March 4th meeting, and I'm not sure what March 4th meeting is, but I don't know. Maybe we should have a meeting. Do you like to operate? Do you like to operate Granger railroads? Can you see 1/64 scale models? Maybe we should work something out. Drop me a line.
Yeah.
So
that's a wonderful Granger layout.
Yep. And Graham, I grew up on the M&S, and from my being in 7th grade through about 10th grade, I charted trains going by, trying to figure out what their timetable looked like. And it was the most abominable mess that I'd ever seen. And then I found out 40 years later that they didn't have a timetable. They just ran sort of once in a while. So there'll be lots of people talk M&S, and that's always great.
You will. So, this is now everything you want to know about the M&S. If you come to the Twin Cities,
there are people.
We'll drive you out there. You can look. You can bring home an M&S spike if you want.
Don, you're when we've been waiting for you, so you're not late. We've been just kind of.
Should we start over?
Yeah. Oh, Ken, thank you. March 4th is a flea market and North Metro Open House. Thank you. Great.
So you can buy trains, talk trains, go look at all the trains.
Yep. Hey, an idea I just came up with. Of course, somebody from North Metro is probably going to hit me for this. Go to the flea market early, go down to the open house, and then while they're all sitting there, say, can I have a throttle and a train, please? So, so there's an idea, gang. Let's all show up at North Metro, and after we go to the flea market, ask them if we can operate trains.
And then lunch upstairs, right?
Lunch upstairs.
Lunch upstairs at that wonderful Asian restaurant. North Metro is 100% NMRA club.
Yes.
If you're in the Twin Cities, if you join the Twin Cities division, we have at least 4 operating. We're invited at least 4 times to go operate that layout. And I think we brought how many guys last time, Ken? 20?
20 guys is what I recall.
Guys. And they could have used another 20. So there's always room.
Yep.
That is such a wonderful layout. It has so many places. And if you don't know if you should join or can't get there, join the NMRA and you can come visit it and actually operate it with us, 3 to 4 times a year.
Sure. Hey, and speaking of big layouts, the Hennepin Overland guys invited everybody from the modelers meet to come over and give us free admission for Saturday night when they're running night trains and Sunday for their open house. So an added value of coming to the modelers meet is you get free entry into the Hennepin Overland, and that's an amazing group too. We're just so lucky to have so many great private layouts and public layouts, plus the Fremo groups. So there's so many ways to get into the hobby. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think, Ray, we've always been one. It's just now with social media, everybody else is hearing about it. We're having MinRail. I don't know if you guys have heard about MinRail. It is an OPSIG event. That's an entire weekend of operate till you drop. Yep. And people come from all over the country, and we're looking to attract new people. You operate Friday night on a layout. You operate Saturday morning on a different layout. Have lunch Saturday afternoon on another layout. And then Sunday morning on even one more layout. Yep. And some people even open up their layouts on Thursday if you come into town early.
Yep.
So,
and I think Randy answered Ray's answer: long winter nights.
Yeah. That's and basements.
Yes.
And basements. It's but yeah, and we keep finding more right now. Our MinRail, we have 33 layouts that are operating, over 80 people for operators, and we just found 3 more that we didn't even know there was. So, people keep it a secret, but this networking through social media, through operating sessions, through, allowing the outcasts of S scalers and N scalers in, allowing everybody in Ken's big tent, we're meeting more people.
Yes.
And they're showing kindness. And there's some spectacular layouts in the Twin Cities that should be on the cover of magazines and should be things like that. So, yeah, we're very blessed in this area. So if you can visit us for a convention or visit us for MinRail or Modelers Retreat, let us know. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, or just if you're on your way through, this kind of flyover country, but it's probably drive-through country too. Why don't give us a call in advance, because we always like to have people. I had somebody ask if we could arrange layout tours for a guy that was coming to Mayo, but he needed to get around with a wheelchair. And I'll admit, other than the big public layouts, that's really a tough thing to do, because as you mentioned, most of us are down in the basement, and it's pretty tough to get that kind of handicap accessibility. And I feel bad about that, but it's just the reality of life.
Yeah, that's something that hasn't been built into many houses.
Yep. And Ken, no, it's not filled up yet. It's
No.
We've got plenty more. In fact, we've just started getting people. I think part of it is we're overwhelming them with too much to do, but I know we'll get them filled, because at the operators retreat, if there's any slots open, we'll fill them up there. So it's not a problem.
Not a problem.
And of course, a couple people that I know have said, I'm really looking forward to operating on Ken's clinch field. So we pass that information on, and it's kind of like the Army. The assignment guy will go, oh, this guy wants to operate on the clinch field. Okay, send him to this guy and that guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the way I was going. No, it's like people will probably get into choice. The MinRail OpSig, they send out what layouts are operating, and people choose them.
Yep.
I don't know why they keep picking some ore hauling railroad first. I don't know why, but so yeah, we have a lot of openings. The Modelers Retreat. I don't know if anybody. We asked this a long time. Like, does it pay to show up models or do some? Ken and I and everyone, Joe, we just put out tables. And if you want to bring models, maybe bring a cloth or something. Bring your models. We'll put up a do not touch sign with your name on there. And if you have any paper explanations, we've had people bring big displays. You want to show a video of your layout, bring a computer, we'll find you power.
Yep.
We've had structures. Last year we had a 3D printer cranking away.
Yep.
I don't think I'll be going live from the Modelers Retreat because the Wi-Fi is bad, but I will be doing interviews and showing off the models and creating videos for this channel.
Sure.
For everybody. Yeah, the Red Dirt Mafia. That's Andy. Andy wants back in the Red Dirt Mafia. So.
Yep. And Colin, you say you're operational illiterate. I mean, that's kind of impossible, because you have a nice layout and you run it. You understand how the prototype did things. When you operate on a layout, especially at the operators retreat, you're not going to be tasked. They're not going to make you the dispatcher. They're not going to give you something that's going to let you fail. They're going to do something that's going to let you experience it, get to understand what it's all about. And then also just watching what other people are doing, you'll enjoy it. If you think that model railroaders are kind of caustic, you'll listen in and figure out that yeah, they're teasing each other, but it's only because everybody's doing the same sort of thing, and there's nobody in that group that wouldn't help you 100%. So
Well, Randy brings up we're having T-Track at the model. I
Yes.
forgot about that too. As another. We get Heath in there with his T-Track. I think last year we tried to have Heath in his remote operations. I don't know if we'll have time for that, but
Yeah. You know, brought up about bringing locomotives that have problems. In the past, we've had people that have done troubleshooting, and that really just depends on who shows up. The Fremo guys are going to be there. The HO Fremo guys are going to be there, and there may be people there that can help you. I'm going to be honest with you. There's so many balls in the air that's pretty hard to make sure that we've got all bases covered. And then
which brings us to the point we're looking for volunteers.
We are, yeah. So if you would like to bring a layout troubleshooting spot, we'll give you a spot there. We'll also give you a spot at the Thousand Lakes Region Convention. And I mentioned that we're going to have a display room. We are looking for a display room coordinator because we intend to have the HO and the N-scale Fremo people in there, as well as information tables from local groups like the different historical societies around here, and the museums, all sorts of fun stuff to do. So reach out, info at TCD NMRA. It'll get to myself, and Dan Dosa is taking over as the chair, and it's going to be a great event. So.
Yeah, a lot of fun coming up. Springtime. We'll be getting outside again.
That's right.
Do some socializing and some bike riding and enjoying that that big orange ball in the sky. I don't know what it's called anymore, Ken. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so waiting for it. So.
I'd like to see my lawn again under the 6 feet of snow out there.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So. But Don mentions that getting started in operations can be scary, and I agree with him. And back to the point I made earlier about getting stuck on an assignment that was over my head as far as timetable and train order, or being put in a yard that was very difficult. You just want to make sure you're upfront with the people, like when you're signing up for the modelers retreat. Hey, you know, I'm new and I want to learn. And a lot of times they'll assign you with a mentor that'll just walk you through it.
Yeah.
So.
Nobody wants you to fail.
Exactly right.
They don't want you to fail at modeling, weathering, timetables, nothing. Like wiring.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciated Heath. One of our earlier shows came on and volunteered to show us how he applied for the Electrical Engineer Achievement Program certificate and earned it.
Yep.
And he did a splendid job, and we walked through it with, you know, TCD judges. So when it came time to go to his division or region, you know, it was very nice. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, you know, I'm sorry, these random things spark in my head. That's what happens.
Well, it's our last show. Get it all out.
Yeah. Kennedy mentioned in all the things that we're doing in the celebration room. We've got a couple guys here that have expressed interest in being shadow judges. And that's an opportunity to sit down and learn what the judges do, so that you might be a judge someday yourself. But actually, it just helps you learn modeling techniques and learn what the judges look for. The other thing that's really nice that Kennedy does, and the group from the TLR, is when your model is being judged, you can sit in and watch what the judges are doing. Now, you can't kibitz with them. You know, that'd be silly, but you can see what they're looking at, and then afterwards you can talk to them about it. But the other good thing there is the judges may look at something and say, well, that's interesting. Was this part of the model, or was this scratch built, or what is it? And they might ask you, which will A, help you get a better evaluation, but B, show you the kind of things that you should put on the paperwork that you submit. And whether it's an achievement award or a contest, both of those things are important to do. last year I put an item in for a friend of mine, and all over the evaluation sheet was, this is neat, but was this a kit? What happened here? How did you, what is this finish? And it would have scored a lot better points had I understood all those things and filled out the paperwork better.
Yeah.
So
you have to
it's all
realize
learning.
you know more about your model than any judge.
Exactly.
And at some of the bigger judging contests, there's three people going around, and they only have so much time to get to 100. And I've heard this many a times was, and think about this: if you entered your Kit Bass GE AC44 Genesis, and next to it is a Erie Railroad Berkshire or something, somebody's not going to know everything about them. I mean, I've heard judges look at diesels like on those GEs, and the air tanks on the side are angled down, and the guy's like, well, they're crooked. And somebody had to tell them, no, they built them like that to get the water out.
Yep.
And, because they didn't know diesels. And somebody presents me a Pennsylvania K4, I wouldn't know if it's right or wrong, but I can tell the craftsmanship on it.
Exactly.
So your paperwork, what Ken says, separates a lot. And the more you can inform the judges that I did this is a kit, this is scratch built, I use painted this.
Exactly.
I wouldn't know if it's an Illinois Central, Plan 4 depot. I'm just going to look at how it's built.
Yep. So. And as Kennedy comments here, you're going to have a chance to sit down with Kennedy and some of the other judges, and they'll tell you about judging. And I, again, telling on myself, I used to be concerned about handing things in for evaluation because I didn't want to get my feelings hurt. A number of years in the Army taught me that, A, you're going to get your feelings hurt anyway, and B, you're going to get over it. So but the judges are not vindictive and nasty. They are there to help you become a better modeler. And that's really one of the fun things we have in the division. So again, and then Mr. Facebook user, there are still signups. Info at TCD NMRA, and you'll get on the sign up list. So there you go.
See if I can post it there. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we can talk about that. We can do anything. I think that's one of the greatest things to dispel the myth of judging.
Yep.
I think the first thing I learned about judging was, you got your papers there, written, always paper clip them together nice and neat. And
Yep.
Also because that holds the $20 bill on there.
Sure.
No, that wasn't it. I'm sorry. That wasn't it. It was just.
Yeah. Well, for our judges here in the division, the $20 bill is not necessary, but if you clip one of those sharing size M&Ms, that's good. But make sure it's got the candy coated shell because you don't want them to be getting that.
Yeah, that way there's no evidence of that when the M&M.
That's right. Right. So that's great stuff. So
anybody else got any questions? Anybody else want to talk about destructing their layout and what they're doing? I know Ray asked next season. I think Ken and I's goal is to do November through February. That'll be a good 16 shows. If we're ambitious, we might start in October, but I don't want to start till November because usually that's when in Minnesota we're driven back into our basements.
That's right.
And
there's really, this next 3 months is going to be crazy busy.
Crazy.
But on top of that, we've had people asking us to come out and do evaluations for Golden Spike. And we've had people that said, hey, my layout's open for videoing. And so we feel it'd be great that the TCD NMRA media shows a lot of great layouts in the area, shows a lot of fun things that we're doing, gives some tips and techniques. And then we're going to add those into the to our occasional Zoom meetings and our in-house meetings. So that goes back to volunteering. If you've got a great technique, you've got a great thing to share, please get a hold of us, because we would love to share it with the division, the region, and the world. Maybe the
I've got
universe.
requests out to two of the many amazing layouts in our area. I've been approved by one, John Hotvets, who is a master model railroader who has all 11 certificates. He's also a master model railroader within the Santa Fe Modeling and Technical Historical Society. His layout is like Colorado in the 50s.
Yep.
Rio Grande, narrow gauge, Mopac, rock, all kinds of things thrown in with. He has a model of just about every caboose and every F unit ever made. As he's been collecting that and scratch building. One of the greatest custom painters I've ever met.
Yep.
And he's accepted my asking to come videotape that. So we'll be putting that on TCD Media. His layout's been featured in calendars. It's just absolutely stunning.
Yep. That we're talking about layout tours again. John's lives in a historic house in South Minneapolis, right on Minnehaha Creek. So you already know it's an amazing place. His layout is in the top floor, and on your way to the top floor, which is you go through a whole bunch of steps, you see the back servants' stairway, because the servants had their own stairway, and it's really quite the place. So it's going to be a treat just to see that layout. So.
Yeah, it might be open on the tour, I don't know, and it's not for the faint of heart for climbing stairs, I'll tell you that.
It's not. Yep.
So, and then the other, I'm working on another one. I haven't heard an answer back because I think the person's on vacation. And hopefully we'll get the okay to do that. And I'll get some people over to do some run-bys and interviews. So we have a lot. We're going to be doing stuff this summer and then bring it back for this fall. And there'll be videos from Modelers Retreat, from the Opera Retreat, from the convention. And with any luck, if the hotel has decent Wi-Fi, we might be able to live stream from the convention.
Sure.
But we won't know till we get there.
Yeah, and one of the problems, let's be honest, Tom, we're going to be so dang busy that it's going to be hard to do that. So maybe Heath can come out, and he did such a great job at Amherst. Maybe he could come out and live stream for us.
Yes, he could bring his Athearn box microphone, which
right.
We have, right?
Yep, we have one of those.
And we're going to be doing. I don't know if is he copywritten the Athearn box? We might have to do something else. Might have to find an Atlas box.
Well, I've got that Cocomelon one that I used at the Canterbury Train Show.
I like that one. I think that Cocomelon is good. Did you bring that to Joe's layout? I think you should.
No, I got there too late. But I think we're going to have to quit having that clip in the preview, because sooner or later that lady's lawyer is going to find me, and I'm going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, you'll get that restraining order again. So.
Yeah. Another one? I put my restraining orders in a file right next to my NMRA Achievement Awards.
Yeah. So we're open to ideas for next season. We have a few more TCD. Are any more meetings on Zoom? So we have March, April, and May.
That's right. Well, March will be at the Modelers Meet. April we'll have a live meeting and the retreat. May, the meeting will be at the convention. And also, by the way, in May is, for those of you that are TCD members, we'll have our elections. And as you probably know, because you all know the bylaws very, very carefully inside and out, board members are only allowed 6 years consecutive, and then they have to get off for a while. It's my turn to get off because I've been on 6 years. So you're lucky you get to find some real leadership now. Get rid of that crabby old guy. So we're looking for people that want to step up. I can tell you right now, there's a lot of volunteers that'll help, and it's not nearly as much work as you might think it is. And it's really a lot of fun because you're working with great people.
You get a lot of fun, a lot of help. Is
Yep.
that the meeting we're going to hold at the Forgotten Star Brewery? I'm trying to remember the name of that place.
Yeah, we were going to try to do that. Meet it. We just got to find out if they'll give us a private space. And then because we also talked about going to the the Twin City Model Railroad Museum, and then go rail fanning from there. We'll have something fun to do in April. We'll keep everybody out of mischief.
Yeah, lots of socializing.
Yep. And we mentioned the 4th of March and the North Metro event. We will be there, and we will have TCD stickers and the Crossing Gate podcast stickers. So if you come up and you know the password and the secret handshake, we will give you stickers. Yeah. So
Ken's not going to put his address out here to ask for stickers because we don't want to be doxxed, but you can write to us at tcdnmra@gmail.com and say, hey, Tom, hey, Ken, can I get a sticker? And we'll send you an array so you get around the layout stickers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can have your own sticker wall of fame. So
you see me, you might get a Split Rock sticker.
Ooh. So Tom, if I get requests, can I put a Split Rock sticker in with the Crossing Gate sticker?
I think so. We'll need a board because I see all these other famous people have like a sticker display.
Yeah.
So the TCD should start a sticker display.
Sure.
Of all the railroads and podcasts and other crazy model railroaders that have, and we can say, hey.
Yep, and we have checked our sticker, and it's not too big that we're going to get in trouble with anybody. So it's good.
Yeah,
it's really a nice size. You'll love it. Will we have them at the Modelers Retreat? Absolutely.
And we will have our gripe jar at the Modelers Retreat.
Yep.
There will be a gripe. It is still $1, but you can gripe. We'll listen. You want to gripe about the hobby? The hobby's dying. The hobby's too expensive, and then we're working on a third one. So.
Yeah, what would be a good suggestion?
Yeah, if you have a good suggestion for the third gripe. Last year was the Scaletrains SDL 39, but that's so you want to gripe about, micro trains not making enough Planet cars. That'd be a good one too, but that'll cost you $1. So
that's right.
And you get professional therapy from a trained psychologist. So
that's right.
It's a pretty cheap session.
It is. It is. Of course, you got to remember that his favorite piece of advice is get a life.
Yeah, get a life.
So
it's always, at least that's what he tells me.
Yep.
And then I cough over hundreds of dollars. So
Ray, are you throwing personal darts at me now? Get out.
Man. Tough crowd.
It is.
Good thing it's our last show. We wouldn't.
It is. It'll take me 6 months to let that wound heal.
The emotional damage right there.
That's right.
Emotional damage.
Yep.
And things like that. So I think we'll call it an end. What do we got here? An hour and a half. Thank you, everyone.
It's been a lot of fun, guys.
I think we had up to, I don't think we broke 40, but we had a lot of viewers.
It was a lively crew. I had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah. If we went for another 4 hours, we could catch up to second section podcast or Heath opening a box. But It's Friday night. Nothing will let it go. Oh,
That's right.
if you want to chat with us off of here, you can find Ken and I and the other cast of reprobates from the Twin Cities division on the NMRA Interchange,
Right.
which is their Discord if you're an NMRA member. So join that.
Yep.
The Twin Cities division and TLR.
Get on our Facebook page.
Facebook page has a channel. You can talk to us on Facebook.
Yep.
We have live chats there. We have live chats on Discord.
Yep. Come to the modelers meet. Come to the operators retreat. Come to the TLR convention. And hey, if you're going to be at the national, make sure you let us know, because I'm going down to the national, and I'm looking forward to meeting lots of people. I understand Ray's going to be there, and that's going to be kind of like 15 minutes of fame getting my picture taken with him. That'll be pretty exciting.
I think Ray's the guy, because you were going to help Michelle get people on the bus.
Yeah.
I think Ray, I've seen Ray. He'd make a good pusher.
Ooh, yeah.
Japanese subways, you just get Ray in the back and point to and everybody's on the bus.
Well, Michelle said I could bring my my Army Colonel voice and maybe a cattle prod, and I'll do just fine.
Yeah, I think that's what you should do to get everyone's attention.
Great. All right, folks. I'm talked out.
If I can type here, I'll put in the address for Ralph. TCDNMRA@gmail.com. There we go. Yeah, write to us at that. And operators retreat. If you got questions of the modelers retreat, if you want to give Ken some advice about tearing out more of his layout, that's always welcome.
That's right.
And if you want to comment on hauling red dirt, keep your comments to yourself. So.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, I do have a lesson learned from tearing out all that stuff. It was old plaster, and the advice is always wear a good dust mask.
Oh, I think that is a lesson learned, as I always learned the hard way.
And I did. Yeah. And that Sawzall kicks up a lot of dust.
So we'll end it here. We'll show all the thumbnails and the things we've done this year, and you guys can enjoy it. And thanks for a good season. This went a lot better than I thought it would.
It did.
It's all because of you guys. Giving us feedback, giving us
there it is.
Well-intentioned grief.
Well-deserved.
Yeah, and well-deserved stuff. So download the podcast, Crossing Gate. It's out.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.